So, everybody heard about this damn game from the Game Awards. Uh-oh, stinky. Doesn't look unique at all, and quite honestly, someone made the joke and said high guard is just another word for Overwatch. Did we ask for this? No.
The Game Awards have come and gone. Expedition 33 received its flowers. We watched as indie games dominated not only in nominations, but also awards, and we were showered in incredible trailers from the return of Tomb Raider to Larian Studios' next game, Divinity. Man, was that one worth it.
Oh my god, dude. The Divinity cinematic was chills. I want them to keep bringing back, like, cool games with, like, a lot of, like, dark themes, gritty, you know? I loved that one. I loved the Diablo one, too, back when it came out, Diablo 4, the trailer, but then the game sucked, so I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic. Divinity, the studio that made Divinity, Larian, has not disappointed yet, so we'll see. I hope it's good.
Then at the end of the show, Jeff Keighley comes out and really lays it on thick. And he shows us High Guard, a PvP hero shooter. What were they thinking? Especially following the Divinity trailer. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And he had all the fanfare, all the anticipation. Man, did that...
And the way he phrased it, too, was so funny. He was like, what? The makers of fucking Titanfall. Oh my god, look at this game. Look at all these people who made this really cool game. The Titanfall. Oh, it's going to be the sequel. Nope.
That guy want to make sure he sold that game. It was the last spot of the night, normally where we would typically see a really big heavy hitter, a major reveal, and they just pretended like it was something that we were begging for, all the while showing us something that we've seen a million times by now. The same music, the same slow motion hero animations showing their powers and all of that good stuff. It was just like Concord's trailer in more ways than you actually think, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And I've seen a lot of feedback surrounding this game. People are not very happy. Most people are just kind of sick and tired of a lot of this stuff. I've seen the developers having a really hard time with it on social media. A lot of people also rushing to defend them, trying to create a pillow fort to defend them from all the toxic gamers. You know, it's just...
Yes, toxic gamers are the ones criticizing you. The incels, they don't have sex.
Just the streamers and the YouTubers that are the problem. These aren't real opinions. It's just manufactured hate more than anything else.
I hate people so much.
Not listening to the players. You know, that's worked out a lot for these guys in the past, hasn't it? All they are is just protecting a game that is clearly destined for failure. You have to learn from these lessons. So today, I'm talking about why that is. I'm talking about the fate of this game. I'm talking about...
It's not gonna go very
all the bad decisions that these guys made up to the release of this game, why this game is such a bad idea, why people hate it, why people are defending it, and why I don't think this is the last time we're going to see it. This video is sponsored by Arknights Enfield, coming out January 22nd. This is a full 3D real-time strategy action RPG set on Talos 2, mixing fast tactical team combat, factory building and management, and the whole process of exploring and reshaping different regions of a planet in a way that honestly surprised me. You play as the administrator, managing this frontier outpost while you fight, explore, and build. Exploration isn't always safe. You will run into hostile creatures and dangers along the way. That's where your team combat comes in. You can pick from a roster of 24 operators with different classes and different skill types to build the team that you want. Combat plays out in real time, so you're going to be swapping between characters, timing dodges, and leveraging physical statuses and arts afflictions to be able to trigger the best team combos. It's not about button mashing. It's about making your squad work together in a way that feels smooth and controlled. This new beta adds a rebuilt story, updated cutscenes, and a whole new region called Wuling. Visually, it's a blend of futuristic tech and Eastern architecture that definitely stood out to me. And as you explore it, you're going to come across new encounters, new stories, and new environmental details that make the whole region feel much more alive. Then there's the AIC factory and blueprint system, which is basically your way of reshaping the world, building automated production lines, upgrading facilities, and expanding your outposts as you explore. It's satisfying, and you get to see your progress reflected in the world. Arknight's Enfield launches on January 22nd, 2026 for PlayStation 5, PC, iOS, and Android. And pre-registration is live right now. So if you want to check it out early, hit the link in the description or the pinned comment. The Game Awards lives and dies by trailers. Every single year it's the same cycle, rumors, wish casting, people convincing themselves that this is finally the night for Bloodborne 2 or Half-Life 3. And because of that, the final trailer carries extra weight. It's supposed to be the big one. Jeff Keighley really leaned into that hard. He reminded everybody that
he has a way of with his words, man. I was watching like the last half because I saw the Divinity one live. And then towards the end, I was like, damn, all right, maybe they'll have one more banger. And I was like, oh boy, Titanfall. I'm not going to play it, but like it sounds cool because everybody's super hyped up about Titanfall. Yeah, he did. He made it seem like Titanfall 3. If you watch the way he talked, it was definitely phrased in a very, very specific way.
the last slot is saved for something special. Tease that this game was being made in secret and then drop the pedigree. Former Respawn developers, the people behind Titanfall and Apex Legends, breaking away from AAA. Expectations spiked, the room went dark, the trailer rolled, and what followed was the most aggressively generic reveal we saw the entire night. Highguard is a PvPvE hero-based shooter where you are playing as wardens fighting over territory and raiding enemy strongholds. On paper, honestly, fine, but the problem
it kind of looks like the new WoW zone with all the Arathi in it, kind of. I know people aren't going to know what I'm talking about, but like it looks like really generic to me, and I hate it.
Is that none of that actually comes through in the trailer. What does come through is how completely interchangeable all of this feels. The same abilities, the same pacing, the same presentation that we have seen a dozen times by now. It's pulling straight from the Valorant playbook right down to the silhouettes and the cooldown-driven combat. The character that they led with honestly looks like John video game. Zero identity, zero...
And it's the haircut, too. The very generic haircut that devs like to shove into every video game. It's super irritating.
Personality, a lot like the whole game. The entire time that I was watching this trailer, I had this nagging feeling that I had seen this before. Not just like, oh, it's another live service shooter. No, I mean, like, I've literally seen this before. And it didn't click for me until the ice troll slammed into the ground, and then my brain immediately clicked and said, oh no, this is Concord. That is definitely Concord. So I went back and I compared the trailers, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. The hero ability introductions are damn near identical. The pacing and the percussion heavy.
I don't even think it's that. When I first saw it, like live, right? It didn't look distinct enough. When you watched Overwatch and Valorant, every character looked unique. For me, like personally, it has to be visually appealing, and then the combat comes. Because you have to be able to distinguish at a glance immediately when you go into combat what's going to happen. Like, oh, this character does this. I should watch out for this. It has to be visually clear.
The music is just about the same. The rhythm of the cuts, the way the abilities are framed, the timing of, oh, look how cool this character is moments. It all lines up perfectly. If you start splicing
there's dog.
the two trailers together, you genuinely start to lose track of which game you're watching unless you're paying close attention. I don't know if they outsource some of the same assets.
I only recognize Daw because Daw is huge.
But you cannot wash the Concord stink off of this thing. I mean, these guys are already falling into the exact same trap that buried Concord. This is a hero shooter with completely unremarkable characters. They're not offensively bad this time. They're not hideous, but they're just safe, polished, inoffensive, and instantly forgettable.
And then the horses, they just reminds me of Heroes of the Storm and, what is it called? Paladins, where you, like, ride into battle.
Single character jumps out at you or makes you say, you know what, I'm curious to play them. The abilities are all things that we've seen before. The powers blur together, and yet this trailer has the nerve to say that it is a new breed of shooter when it looks exactly like 10 other games from the past year. And clearly, players are feeling the same way. The reaction online was immediate. People started calling it Concord 2 almost instantly. Others were furious that the game somehow got the final slot of the show. Dead on Arrival has become the default label for the game. IGN's upload is sitting at over 300,000 views right now with over 40,000 dislikes and barely 4,000 likes. The trailer is getting absolutely...
No, it's the incels.
...cooked on social media. Ratioed and reposts, side-by-side comparisons everywhere. Characters are getting dragged for looking like knockoff versions of existing
This is what Blizzard's like really good at, honestly. I've always said this about Blizzard, even though the gameplay and like the story can suck. 90% of the time, not all the time, but 90% of the time, their visual designs are actually really on point. Not all the time. There's some exceptions, of course, but most of the time it's really good.
Heroes like the sniper, who is basically just a blonde version of Anna from Overwatch. And then you've got Tomb Raider developers that are getting universal praise right now for revealing that they've been working on the game, while Highguard developers are announcing that they can finally talk about theirs. And the
fact that the trees kind of look like his hair. The tops of the trees kind of look like his butchy ass hair. How did anybody like go through the cinematic, the trailer of Highguard, and not be like, I don't know, maybe change the trees?
They're being
That's
met with
instantly
nothing
what I would have
but
thought.
backlash,
Yeah.
to the point that some of them are just straight up going private. So yeah, not a great response, and definitely not the one you're hoping for after spending some serious money on putting your trailer on the biggest stage in the entire industry. The Game Awards now reportedly pulls in more viewers than the Super Bowl, and getting your trailer on the show is not cheap. Anywhere from
it's huge for an international thing that's only English spoken.
$450,000 to over $1 million, depending on its length. That's before we factor in how much it costs for them to buy out the final slot of the night, the spot that's reserved for the biggest, most anticipated reveals. That is
I kind of disagree. I mean, I think that towards the end of the show, people stop caring. I think they front load their shit for sure. Yeah, because if Divinity wasn't like halfway through the show, it was like pretty much at the start, kind of. Like maybe midway through the start.
Insane gamble. And this case,
like logically speaking, people's attention spans, like even if you talk about like, oh, the last thing is supposed to be big, people's attention spans aren't even like that long. No, Alana, the final spot is the most anticipated. I guarantee you, if I had the spread for the Game Awards, it would be like this. And then it would be like this. It would not fucking go like up straight in the straight line. That's wrong. That's objectively wrong. I get what you're trying to say, but like it's not. It just can't be. Yeah. People don't stick around to watch like 2 to 3 hours of this.
It is completely blown up in their face. Now, I've heard some people say that the trailer placement is the problem, and sure, I guess kind of. I mean, if this thing had shown up earlier in the night, there wouldn't have been nearly as much anticipation that was riding behind it, and also it probably wouldn't have been directly contrasted to some of the genuinely exciting reveals that we had seen. I mean, how do you follow up that?
They had some mid-reveals. I don't know.
Divinity trailer, but let's be honest here, regardless of where that trailer was placed, it still would have been just as forgettable. The backlash here is not some mystery puzzle that the internet needs to solve. The biggest issue that we have is the expectations that this studio set for themselves. This is supposed to be an independent studio, a breakaway team, former EA employees, more importantly, former Titanfall developers branching off to go and do their own thing. And what do they come back with? The safest, most corporate thing imaginable. The kind of live service hero shooter that we have come to expect from moronic and repetitive AAA publishers following the tail of everyone else, not from a studio that escaped that system. And that's the part that makes no sense to me. And this is likely what pissed people off the most. You escaped. You are free. You're supposed to be the ones that are making games for us, not for the fucking machine. Why wouldn't you make something actually different? Something that players clearly want. You fly the flag of Titanfall for the reputation it gives you, but not for the meaning behind it. The audience behind that game did not disappear. It's been ignored. You know what? Who am I kidding? Of course, the only person that clearly sees that need is some random solo developer that's making a diesel punk mech shooter off of Kickstarter money and a YouTube channel. Seriously, go check out Diesel Mics. That guy actually gets us. I went back and actually watched his trailer after watching the Highguard reveal, and it is night and day. It's so distinct, it's so messy and unrefined and raw, and it just feels human. And watching that back just made it even more obvious how few people in this industry genuinely understand the art anymore, or even the audience that they're supposed to be making games for. Highguard takes absolutely no creative risks, none at all. The only thing that they're doing is just gambling with their own financial security at this point. This thing plays it as safe as humanly possible. It's just another piece.
And that's what people are sick of. Like, the AAA industry has created this insatiable desire for number to constantly be going up. So any form of risk, whether it be MMOs specifically are very unsafe, and investing into them is very risky. But it's like they don't want to take chances, so they just regurgitate the same min-max slop through like testing and like seeing what people might like, or it's the best chance of them liking it, and they just put a broad stroke brush over it and then release it. It's so lame.
PvE live service game wearing the skin of past achievements, trading almost entirely on, hey, remember what we used to work on? And it's like I said before, when we first saw Concord. When a game introduces itself as from the former developers of, especially from studios like Bungie, Activision, or EA, that's basically become a red flag for me. Not always, there are some outliers, Embark Studios is an obvious one, but more often than not, there is a reason that they are former developers. And in this case, they couldn't even spot the warning signs in their own game, let alone stay in step with what players are actually into right now, or even learn from the pile of failed live service launches that we've already seen just this year. Honestly, the only real risk that this studio took were all the wrong ones. They spent 4 years developing this game in total secret. No early footage, no tests, no public feedback, nothing. If they had shown anything earlier, and I mean anything, they could have gauged player reaction and course corrected. Instead, they went all in on...
That's true. I never heard anything about this game before this trailer launch. Like, there was nothing. And it's so underwhelming. Did they even have a test group?
Blind confidence, dropped a reveal trailer, and then just announced a full release barely a month out, putting themselves in a completely unnecessary do-or-die situation. And I'm telling you right now, if you are making a live service game, you have to involve the audience as early as possible. You cannot afford to spend years and millions of dollars building something just to find out at the very end that nobody wants it. I mean, Arc Raiders did multiple closed alphas. They ran a beta well before the game even came out. Hell, even Marathon is out here involving players and has made visible changes based on their feedback. When I see studios that are skipping that step entirely, especially in live service, it tells me exactly...
They're not just closing they're not shaking their heads and going, no, you're being cringe and incels. I didn't see that from the Marathon devs. They just were like, all right, I mean, maybe it does suck. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try and fix it as best we can. You can't turn a massive ship like that around either, so when people point out that kind of thing, you can't, like, immediately see, like, that kind of change in a massive AAA studio. Like, maybe in an indie one, yeah, maybe, but it would be, like, a lot of effort and a lot of work regardless. But, like, turning around a ship like that with so many people is almost impossible.
Exactly who this game is being made for, and it's not the players.
Deadlines.
I realize that the developers for Highguard are likely combing social media right now, looking for feedback. That's a little bit too late, seeing as though your game's going to be coming out a month from now. Looking at social media posts, obviously, because they're probably a little bit too difficult to ignore at this point. And I hope you're listening right now. This is the feedback. This is the frustration of a real customer. Somebody that was a fan of Titanfall. I want you to know that the expectations set upon you are higher than AAA games. We don't expect shit from them anymore. We do expect more from you, somebody that escaped that. We expect that you're going to be trying to make something that we're going to actually want. We're expecting more from your freedom to create, not from you just to go and make more of the same. If you're trying to figure out why people are so upset, why they're so quick to just toss your game to the side, that's exactly why. We know that AAA game studios are not looking out for our best interests. We know that they're not trying to make games for us. They're just trying to make games for profit. We have the expectation that those that are operating...
And those stinky incel gamers aren't buying our games and giving us money. Hi equals over. Guard equals watch. I kneel Kojimbo. Someone made the exact same joke when I first talked about it. It is just... It's actually cinema. I didn't realize high card equals Overwatch.
Outside of that system are looking out for our best interests, that are trying to make games that we actually want to play, that are trying to do everything they possibly can. We need that light. We need that because it's our last thread of trust that a lot of people have in this industry right now. And if you betray that, that is a very real betrayal, especially in the eyes of a lot of players right now. And if we start seeing a lot of studios that break off from AAA just to go out and essentially continue to just feed the same system, well, You're now betraying the trust that other studios deserve.
True.
How did you think that these Temu designs would somehow draw in players? I'm blown away by that. How do you not learn from any of the live service failures that we've seen, not only just this year, but just over the past 5 years?
It's a hero shooter.
And
heroes are supposed to be unique at a glance to look at them. I don't understand. Why do we churn out the same crap over and over again and expect a new result? It's like insanity doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
How do you guys go into secrecy, developing a game for 4 years, and then just drop it into the market and hope it succeeds? You know, this reminds me of Splitgate. Yeah, it reminds me of Splitgate. They had a really cool concept. They had their, arena shooter. People really enjoyed it. And then these guys sold out and wanted to be just like AAA, killed their original game, and then went and made a live service battle royale. We know what you're doing. We know what you want. We can smell you a mile away. We don't want to have anything to do with it. I've seen a lot of people already rushing to come and defend this developer and all the different developers that are working for them, trying to say that it's all fake outrage. It's just streamers and YouTubers that are feeding people their opinions based, by the way, as long as you're getting those opinions from the right people. That it's all just hate for the sake of hate.
Glaze, yeah,
and
like
what that ignores is that this outrage, or maybe not the outrage itself, but the frustration is not manufactured. It's not artificial. It is very real, and you have to be listening to it. And if this industry continues to dismiss it, if people continue to protect these developers, we're going to keep seeing this happen over and over again. And I think that's going to keep happening. It's actually kind of wild right now looking around.
Keep calling us incels. That feeds us more power, chat. It doesn't matter. And I love people that say, incels, and then they say shit to me personally and say, oh, well, you're just a man. You're a man behind a VTuber avatar pretending to be a woman. Okay, even if that was true, that still doesn't, actually help your point. Your game still blows ass.
Seeing that most of games media is more or less in agreement on this, not defending the game, not running interference, just documenting what's happening. And honestly, that is refreshing. It feels like a rare moment where this industry is starting to remember who it actually serves, the players, not itself. But on social media, it is a completely different story. You have people that are rushing to gas up these developers, telling them to just ignore the criticism, dismissing all the backlash outright. And once again, this feels eerily similar to Concord. I really started to notice it when I saw a post from one of the developers who had gone protected, constantly retweeting
protected post, yep.
praise, amplifying a handful of
every time too.
Positive takes, feeding into this idea that the outrage isn't real, that people just need to calm down, stop reacting, and that none of this is justified. And then you got a handful of pundits that are out there that are piling on, openly patronizing players for just having opinions. One example that really stuck out to me was a former IGN writer, Fran Mirabella, who had posted a video criticizing the reaction to Highguard, first writing an opening saying, unscripted vent, exhausted by predictable drama gamer
reactions. Well, who are you catering to, you fucking retard? Who are you catering to if not gamers?
Reactions over Highguard. You got to be pretty dumb to compare this to Concord and think that the game play is anything like it. Can we go back to playing games before we place 50-50 bets on their doom and trashing the artist's vision?
My favorite part about this Highguard stuff is that everybody talking about this nonsense with Concord.
Is that his voice talking over his own thing?
Clearly never played Concord and doesn't even understand the gameplay that they're seeing.
What do you mean? It looks like a generic shooter, amalgamation of a bunch of different games that are already out. You just don't get it. It's so innovative. Look at the screen, bro. What are you? Yeah, oh, we're dumb. Yeah, we're the dumb fucks over here.
Bit of hyperbole there. People are just overreacting, but nobody played Concord, right? I did, by the way.
Yeah, nobody played Concord because it sucked. These people don't understand, the concept of, looking at a piece of food on a plate and then realizing, this piece of food smells really, really bad, like shit. I'm not gonna even eat it because it looks like shit. Like, why would I waste my time looking at it?
But now they just want to listen to their favorite streamers and whine about, oh man, this looks like trash, bro. It looks so like unoriginal. What are you talking about?
This guy reminds me of a Redditor. Honestly, the big Reddit energy, dude.
Yes, I definitely think you can see a lot of these Apex inspirations and all that stuff, but like this is clearly, you know, a PvP game with these PvE elements, right? You got all of these.
We've never seen that before. I've never seen PvP games with PvE elements before in my entire life. That's crazy.
PvE elements going on, and it looks like what it's going to be, right? You can have these PvP clash points. You're trying to make it to the end, but you're doing stuff like, you know, blowing up buildings.
What? I've never seen games have breakable terrain. It's what? Marvel Rivals has that too? That's crazy.
Setting off like reactors. You have powers where you're like smashing through stuff.
What? Oh my god, no way.
Got to get keys maybe to get through next sections. Like, it's not a bad idea.
Is he trying to convince himself or convince us, chat?
So like, I don't know what everybody's whining about without playing it, but I'm just so exhausted with, you know, that part of the gaming discussion at this point. It's just, it's ridiculous, man. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but, you know, maybe we should play it and hear.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's literally this meme. It's literally this meme. Listen to what he's saying. It's literally this meme.
It's just, it's ridiculous, man. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but, you know, maybe we should play it and hear about people playing it first before we start calling it Concord. And again, like, you got to be pretty dumb if you think that this game is anything like the gameplay in Concord.
I love how fast all criticism gets dismissed. Not just the trailer, but the audience itself. Just blame the streamers, blame the YouTube.
It's literally the same thing. It's just paraphrased differently.
Problem solved. And also, yeah, no shit, the people that are comparing the game to Concord never played Concord. Nobody played that game. Less than 25,000 people even bought it, and it was shut down in under a week. That should have been the lesson right there. When players decide that they don't like what they're seeing, they just don't show up. They didn't give Concord a chance, and if they're reacting the exact same way right now, the ending is already written unless you change it. And nobody played Concord. I did, by the way. What a line that is. Incredibly pretentious, by the way. As if that gives you any higher understanding of the reveal. This is a criticism about what was shown. And instead of just dealing with that, you immediately start jumping to talking about mechanics that the trailer never even explained. Keys, PvE systems, clash points, stuff that you're just filling in yourself because you feel like it needs to be there to be able to justify your point. Then you turn around and tell the player...
If you're like looking over someone's shoulder and the game doesn't look interesting when you're in the middle of combat, I'm not talking like, oh, you're watching a cutscene or something, right? If your friend looking over your shoulder doesn't say, that looks kind of cool, that's the kind of reaction you want from your audience. This doesn't elicit the same reaction. It just looks like the same crap everybody else has churned out, but somehow actually is worse somehow.
That they need to wait and give the game a chance. No, we don't need to wait. This was the chance. This was the moment where you got to show the people what the game was, and they honestly reacted in the way that you saw, and treating that reaction like anything else, treating it like it's illegitimate in some way, is exactly how we get games like Concord.
Why would you spend money on High Fart when you could go play Marvel Rivals, which is already out? It's visually more appealing. It's got hot chicks in it. And there's, like, pretty much, like, the only thing that's missing is, like, the unlocking keys to go into different areas. But you could argue that's, like, a payload mechanic. I don't know. But anyway, like, it's just not... And it's free! And it's free! You're right! So, like, why would you even think about going to play this game?
Game developers, if you are watching this right now, do not, under any circumstances, ever listen to people like this. Do not listen to the people that are trying to protect you. Listen to the people that are trying to criticize you. Gamers do not always articulate their criticisms well. Sometimes it's going to come out cynical, hostile, even ugly at times, but it is your job to extract the signal from the noise instead of getting offended by it. I'm going to hit you guys with some pretty heavy truth. You are not just making art, you are making consumer products, something that is meant to be sold, played, monetized, and sustained. When feedback at this scale is so overwhelmingly negative, people that are telling you that it's fine or that the players are wrong are not helping you. They're not trying to save your studio. They are setting you up for failure. The people that are rushing to defend you right now are not doing it because they care about your games. They are doing it because it makes them...
They're not going to play your game. That's the saddest part, that the game devs don't realize. The people that are defending you on Twitter, 99% of them will never play your game. They won't play. They won't pay to play your game. They won't even install the game in the first place.
Feel better because it feeds their sense of moral superiority. You can hear the contempt in the way that these people are saying they are sick of the outrage, of the way that they blame it on content creators instead of just engaging with the criticism itself. That is pure dismissal, and it is something that we have seen over and over again in this industry. Content creators do not create taste. We do not manufacture opinions. We amplify what is already there. We are a lightning rod for public sentiment, not a source of it. And this idea is especially common in games journalism, that outrage content is what makes people popular. It's just wrong. It always has been. That stuff never lasts. I do not tell people what to think. People do not take my word as gospel. They watch because something I am saying is lining up with what they already feel. That resonance.
That's what I think is the most irritating thing about journalists and saying like, oh, it's like, it's just Asmongold, or it's these Asmongold clout chasers and fucking grifters that are just repeating what he's saying. It's like, do you not realize that maybe other people have similar opinions to people who have a popular opinion? Because it's a popular opinion, they're not lying to their audience. I know, it's a mind-blowing concept, I know, but like, it's just, yeah, it's like Bomb Man bad, therefore Bomb Man opinion bad, therefore any opinion that's attached to him is bad.
It's what creates that audience, not manipulation, not outrage farming, just recognition. And pretending otherwise is a convenient way for you to avoid dealing with why so many people are reacting the same way at the same time. This is just what modern customer feedback looks like. It's loud, it's messy, it's uncomfortable, and if you don't learn how to deal with it honestly, if you hide from it, or if you just let other people explain it...
This game looks kind of cool. It reminds me of Unreal Tournament with how floaty it is.
...the way for you, your game is going to fail, and your studio is going to follow. The real danger here is not the players, it's listening to platforms and pundits that do not carry...
Oh shit, this is Titanfall? No wonder you guys are disappointed. I'm like just watching, zoning out and listening, and I'm like, yeah, this game's kind of not bad.
Any of the risks, that don't ship the game, that don't rely on the retention, that don't
eat
the consequences when the players walk away. And we already have the evidence of this. There is a growing pile of failed games and shuttered studios that followed that exact advice, ignoring the backlash, dismissing the criticism, trusting these narrative managers instead of the audience. These people that gave the advice, they're just fine. The studios weren't. So if you're a developer right now, understand this clearly. Listening to players might be uncomfortable, but listening to pundits who do not suffer from your game's fallout is how your games die. I've talked about this in a lot of other videos, but live service right now is an incredibly dangerous space to step into. I understand why studios are chasing it, the money, the visibility.
Yeah, because microtransactions are good for milking customers' wallets and their balls.
The upside when it all works, but as this industry continues to get more crowded, as more teams step in to keep copy and pasting the same designs, as attention and spending get tighter, these games are going to come under harsher and harsher scrutiny and far more visceral backlash, and these guys are earning it. We have watched this exact thing happen in open world games. They were sold as the future of the industry. Every single publisher needed to have one. Then everyone also needed to have several of them.
This game is made for men.
One point in time for some odd reason, and over time the ideas dried up. The worlds got bigger than the actual games deserved. Everything started to just feel like busy work, and players just checked out of it entirely, not because open worlds were bad, but because the industry wouldn't stop flooding the market with hollow versions of the exact same thing. That's where live service is right now. Players are tired. Yes, there are success.
He blew himself
I'm not denying that. Marvel Rivals, Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, but look at where most players are spending their time right now. Older games, familiar games, things that they can trust, because the rest of the market is just imitation piled on top of imitation. And players can tell when something is actually being made out of the love for the genre or the audience. They know.
You can see that with how many indie games have been shown love recently in the last like 2 to 3 years. I would even argue like 5 years.
That game is being made for their wallet. And once they clock that, they're gone. There is such an insane desire for players to be wrong today, and I find it so disgusting.
Yeah, because they fucking hate you. They don't give a shit about you. They just want you to shut up and like hand over your fucking money. Your hard-earned 9 to 5 wage money.
It's coming from a place of pure entitlement and narcissism from an industry that has largely not had to deal with feedback or pushback at this scale.
Shut up and consume.
And I've seen people talk about how gaming discourse never used to be like this. That it's all just Twitch streamers and YouTubers. That is such
and it's such a small fraction too. If you could have the statistics of like how much influence, like for example, Asmund has, or like bigger streamers like Shroud and what's his face? Not Lyric. Who am I thinking of? The guy that smashed his monitor? No, sorry. Summit, Shroud, and Asmongold. Like, if they start saying, like, they're stating their opinion on shooters, their influence doesn't even, like, combined, maybe that is a big influence, but I would say, like, overall, I don't think that impact has that much of an influence on normies. Normies don't fucking consume Twitch streams as much as people think they do, and they don't even consume that much YouTube content on video games. That's like purely a gamer thing. Really, like if you think about it.
Why? I worked at GameStop many years ago for like 4 years. I can guarantee you that these conversations have always been happening. They were just happening in private conversation and also in forums, but now they're on a public stage. They're plastered in front of everyone in glorious harmony and unison. And these guys just don't know how to be able to deal with that. You have to understand.
If you watch back the Gamer Awards and then the reveal trailer for High Guard, there was so many L's. L. This looks bad. This sucks. Do you think those are like incel gamers, or do you think those are average Joes that just like watched they wanted to watch the Gamer Awards on YouTube? I do think there's like a normie overlap in it.
That players today will do anything they possibly can. They will say anything they can to make sure that the games they want to play come out and the games that they don't want to play disappear. I do my best to try to communicate in these videos that any of the topics that I discuss or how I even discuss them is never coming from a place of spite, usually. What I'm trying to do is make sure that the games industry understands this is just the nature of discourse today. This is the nature of customer discourse today. And they have to get it through their thick skulls that you need to be able to just face this, understand it, listen to it.
Don't be a pussy.
And then turn that into valuable.
Or even better, don't look at the internet. It's not that hard to like turn off your computer and just like work on your game. Like I understand you still need feedback or someone to receive the feedback. But you don't all have to be there and like mentally like psychic damage your fucking brain reading hate comments. You don't have to do that.
Feedback for you to be able to make games that people actually want to play.
Argue on Twitter, yeah.
These are consumer products.
People are idiotic.
If you're trying to make these things for just the sake of the art, that's fine. Don't expect to be able to make a profit off of it. I'm not saying that the art can't exist. Obviously, I want the art to exist. I'm somebody that appreciates the art side of a lot of these games. But if you're just purely making it for the art, do not expect to make a profit. And definitely do not prop it up with a live service model where you need constant engagement for your game to be able to stay up and for your studio to be able to stay open. I'm sorry, but looking at a game like, I almost said Concord, looking at a game like High Guard, they sound the same.
Little Freudian slip.
That is a game that's being made for profit. Pure and simple.
It is.
Everybody can see it.
It is.
You do not make a free-to-play game if that's not your aim. Everybody knows that. And artistry is definitely not the aim for these guys. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made the characters look like they do. So I don't know what you're talking about there. My best advice.
No, what do you mean? The zoomer haircut, dude? That is pure artistry, you guys. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to walk into like a fucking high school and find someone with that haircut. It's very, very unique, guys.
For High Guard is when this game goes to its release, make that a beta instead, and then push the release indefinitely until you can get a handle on what player feedback is, on what players are actually looking for, until you can actually get some heroes that people are actually going to be interested in.
Oh
now, I could be wrong. For some odd reason, this could come to release and it ends up being the best game ever because these guys just somehow found the perfect mix of mechanics and gameplay, I guess. I'm not really too sure, but looking at...
I have no faith because this guy's first response was like, this mechanics are original and like you don't even know how to play the game yet. It's like, yeah, at a glance I can tell how to play the game because it looks like every other game that's been released in the last 10 years.
The state of the discourse.
Oh my god.
The feeling that I got from watching that trailer. This is looking like another game where I'm going to make more money off of it than the game is. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video.
He's gonna farm
If you guys did enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with game developers. No, I'm kidding.
Dude.
I mean, you can just don't be malicious about it. Well, maybe a little bit. Thank you guys for watching. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Kick. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Family. That was a good video. Thanks for that legendary drops. Thank you. That was really good. Maliciously liking the video. Yes! Keep in mind, the game was a secret for 4 years. This means nobody cared enough about to leak it. That's actually true. Don't like really big games constantly get leaked like through like friends or family or like a coworker like that overhears things and then it gets posted on the internet and then it comes true.